Continuing with our theme of opal people, today we are with Richard Moser, and he is son of the famous opal miner and opal carver Bruno Moser. So, hello Richard.
Hello Rob.
Would you like to tell us a little bit about your dad?
He was Swiss. He moved to Australia when he was about 21, and he was a jeweller. Actually, he was trained in Switzerland as a jeweller. Yeah. Came over, and the first thing he did was work for Hardy Brothers in Sydney.
Okay.
And the Swiss jewellers were trained well. He was well received in the jewellery industry. But then one of his Yugoslavian mates said, "Hey, I'm going to Andamuka." So he didn't have anything to lose, so he went to Andamuka. But this Yugoslavian guy was apparently a extremely hard worker, and he was down in the hole digging, and Dad was on the winch.
Okay.
And back in 1950, there were no motors. It was all just winch. And he used to say that his hands bled. And from down in the hole, his Yugoslavian mate would be yelling at him, "Keep going." So, and I think he found that mining, even though he was a big bloke, mining was difficult. So he decided that he had the skills to carve and cut, and so that's what he did. So in Andamuka he was using, all of the miners were coming to him, and I suppose there were other cutters there. He became sort of one of the cutters in the town, and because he was Swiss, they went straight back to Switzerland, and were selling to the big designers back there. Then he got connections in Hong Kong, and a lot of the doublets and triplets were sold in Hong Kong, and then went to the US and was selling in the US, and then Japan came on board, and I think that's when I sort of came into the scene. He'd been going to Japan for probably 10 years before I joined the company. And then Japan actually took over from everything else. And so I was, then he sent me.
It was always a pleasure to deal with Bruno. And it brings back some memories seeing photos of your smiling face, having dealt with him quite a few times. And dealing with the young Richard as well. We're going to show you some of the images of some of Bruno's work in a minute, but thanks for that little snapshot of Bruno's life. Richard's now carried on the family tradition, and he's running a business called DDS. You can see it here, DDS Diamond Design Studios, a very successful business. But with the things that you're going to see, if you have any interest at all, we will have a description below our video, and you will be able to contact Richard direct if there's something there that you're interested in, or if you can't reach him, you're welcome to contact us.
We did have some designs. We were going to make a piece of jewellery with that, and we were going to put a big diamond in the hole. We didn't get around to it, and there's so many things to do. But that's an absolutely stunning stone.
Yeah, it is. It is very beautiful.
Typical high quality Andamuka. Yeah, that's a fairly usual type of carving for Dad. It's meant to be opal.
Another stone, carving stone. Oh, this one's very beautiful too. Has very intense green in it.
That is Andamuka
yeah,
opal as well. And that's still got the stone back on it. But really beautiful blues and greens. Big stone.
Yeah. Very beautiful.
the thickness of the opal is it's quite fine, and that's why it gives
Oh,
that bright
yes.
colour.
It is, isn't it? They're very, very thin layer of opal, but because of the dark background, it has very bright flashes. Well, this is a stone I absolutely fell in love with when I saw it first time. And this is not a small stone, and the polish is so good, very beautifully carved.
Richard, thanks for bringing this piece out. I can remember your father showing this to me very proudly a number of years ago, must be at least 15 years ago. And just explain to me what this is, Richard.
It's a solid piece of rutilated quartz, and initially it had inclusions and all of that was cut out, and that sort of created this shape, and then it's polished by hand. So,
An absolutely stunning piece. I was speechless when I saw this. I mean, to get a piece of rutilated quartz this size, this sort of clarity, this sort of colour is amazing. And what amazed me also about it was, as a cutter, is the polish that's actually on here, because all the things we've been looking at up until now have been opal, which is softer than quartz, and quartz in itself is a hard material. This is a lot of work, a lot of effort, but 1.1 kilos, beautiful piece. I really appreciate you bringing this out to show it to me today, Richard, and also for spending time with us today and sharing us a little bit about your father's past, his history, and also sharing some things from where you're at today in your current business. It's been a pleasure, Richard. Thank you.
it's been an absolute pleasure to have you. Yeah, it's always good to see you.
Thank you, Richard.
All right.